Hi, my name is Mitomoro, and I'm going to be showing you how to make your percussion a little bit less boring and sit in your mix a lot better. In this tutorial, I am using FL Studio, but you can use any DAW that you want because it is universal information, and everything that I'm doing here you can be transferred over to Ableton, Logic, Cubase, whatever your poison is. So, to start, I have everything set up, and I made myself a little loop. So I don't have a whole lot going on here. I just have a triangle. I have some hats, some closed hats, and then I have an open hat. Altogether, it sounds like this with a kick. So what I've done is I've taken all of my percussion and I've routed it to this board. Everything here routed to this board, and on this board I just have a drum compressor from Waves called the CLA Drum Stereo with a little kind of cool preset that I made. I took out all the bass and that's going to be from the compression. I made the treble a little bit in the middle, you know, a little bit more than usual because I like having that warmness in the mid-range of my percussion. I have it very, very compressed because there's a lot of varying levels of loudness with his percussion, so when I compressed it, it just kind of made it all same level. There's a little bit of reverb coming in through here, not a whole lot, and it's not a huge reverb, it's not a tiny reverb, it is a medium-sized reverb, and there is a very hard gate going on. I also have this an impulse response going on. It just adds a little bit more reverb. It's wonderful. I love it, and you should absolutely do this. What I have going on for a little bit of the reverb, mostly the triangle loop here, is I have it panning from left to right every beat. So when it starts off, it could be on one side, and then by the second beat, it's on the other side. And to do that, it just kind of, you know, gives it a little bit more room to breathe instead of just being a straight, boring, you know, loop. It sounds like this. And below that, I have a side chain going, so that you don't get barraged with a, you know, sharp ding every time it hits. It kind of softens it up. This gross beat actually isn't doing anything, so you can ignore that. Now this EQ though is taking out all the lows. And I'm not having it over here because there's a lot of low frequencies, as you can see. I'm taking all of those out. And notice how the slope isn't very sharp, because if it is sharp, it will basically just, you know, bring out some of those frequencies again. When it's a much smoother slope, it just doesn't give us those lower frequencies. Do this on literally every hat. You know, this one right here, don't do that. This one right here, take out the EQ of all the lows. This is where the sound is most prominent, other than its highs. Take out all the lows. Do the same for every bit of percussion. I promise you it's worth it. In the end, you want to do this. Here's what everything sounds like without these drum compressions and the impulse. This is what everything sounds like without the drum compression and the impulse. Here's what it sounds like with the drum compression. Here's what it sounds like with the impulse added. Just a very, very full mix. There's also a snap going on the offbeat. It's just a snap. You can EQ this too if you want, but this is actually a really clean sample, so I didn't really need to. It just kind of fit in the mix without me having to EQ it. This is actually the percussion that Rico Harver and I used in our Club Aerobics release of Grind, so this is everything that I have done in an official release. And all together with the kicks and everything, it sounds like this. And it's
You can take this and copy and paste it over, but make sure you don't do the same thing for the entire song. Over here I've added just a little bit, you know, just this little snare, gave it a little weird choppy rhythm just to make things a little bit more interesting, because if you just let everything run the way it is the entire time, it gets boring, it gets stale, and the listener can get, you know, distracted and lose interest in the song. So, bring that in. Sounds great. I'm Mitomoro. This has been a tutorial for Compact Beat. Thank you and have a wonderful day.